December, and you know what that means. It's Christmas time. That means hat time. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, December 5th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. One of the big things that happened this week was the PC gaming show, the penultimate showcase of the year, with the Game Awards next week, which will all be game announces, hopefully filling up the calendar for next year. But might include a lot of stuff like this one did that are pretty well out there. But I just wanted to talk about a few of the games that I am excited for coming out of that show. We got to see a little bit of Control 2, which I'm excited for. I'm curious. There was a lot of TBD in the game show, or in the gaming show. So, we don't have any confirmed dates yet, but very much looking forward to Control 2. I'm also very excited for Dawn of War 4. I know that was exciting earlier this year when it was announced, so hopefully that's moving quite along. We did get a few more firmer dates from a game I'm looking forward to. Slay the Spire 2 is supposedly coming out March of 2026, so just a few short months and we'll all be addicted and put 1,000 hours into Slay the Spire 2, which would be exciting. I'm curious. Compatibility, considering I assume they'll take a while to get it onto all the platforms that Slay the Spire is on, but maybe that's a little bit quicker. I'm looking forward to potentially playing this on my Steam Deck, or hopefully, I wonder if there'll be mobile at launch, because it is on mobile now. So it'd be interesting to see what the pathway for that looks like. Also, we get to see more Resident Evil Requiem, reminding us that that game is coming out in February 27th. So there was a couple games with firmer release dates, but there was a lot of TBD when I was going through the list of games. So, but those are the games coming out of the PC gaming show that caught my eye. Let me know if there's any that I should be also keeping my eye on. Moving right along, we actually have games launching in December. It's not so faux pas as it used to be. Metroid Prime 4. Hopefully it's been worth the wait. I know that this was announced back in 2017. So we're like 8 years out from the announce, and it is finally here. And everyone can be excited about a new Metroid game. And you don't even have to own a Switch 2 to play it, which is exciting. I saw that it is compatible and runs smoothly on Switch 2 as part of the reviews I was reading. It's currently got an 80 Metacritic, which is pretty good. Not nothing to scoff at. A good 80 Metacritic. Just Metroid's not usually my thing. I read about some of the psychic puzzles look pretty cool. A lot of really cool powers. Apparently, it's the first time that you're able to jump as Samus, so that could be interesting and lead to more traversal, which I know is very popular in the Metroid genre. So curious how they kind of level up the genre as well, or how much of this feels like it was stuck back in 2017 when it was announced. But if you picked up Metroid Prime 4, let me know what you think down below, and maybe I'll pick it up somewhere down the line and finally play my first Metroid game. Moving right along, we got some DLC dropping this week. I'm very excited to hop into Nightreign, Elden Ring Nightreign. So that excuse to replay Elden Ring Nightreign or get your friends together to kill some Elden Ring bosses together is here. Two new characters were added, the Scholar and the Undertaker. The Scholar being, again, another kind of mage, which is interesting because, magic was never very powerful in like the FromSoft games, but or wasn't always a viable strategy, which is one of the things I like about Elden Ring Nightreign, is that you can kind of the weaknesses can be tempered by the fact that you're playing with friends. And then the Undertaker isn't actually like a undead class. They already have the Revenant for that. It's more like a heavy melee build that should play a little bit different than the other one in the game. But both those characters launched this week with some DLC. I'll have a link to how to kind of unlock those characters and do the remembrances down below for everyone who wants to like get through them and unlock all the ultimate stuff for that. High on Life 2 had a trailer coming out this week. It's a live action trailer, and people are all dressed up as weird aliens from High as Life 2. And it's also taking an interesting turn in that it is a like pharmaceutical drug ad. for a drug made of humans to help cure your depression. Um, Humans usually the cause of depression. Yeah, interesting. I like the trailer. It's funny. I'm excited for High on Life. I believe we got a confirmed launch date for that, which I didn't write down, so because I'm good at my job. So let me pull that up real quick. Oh, February 13th. So yeah, we just gotta wait a couple more months until High on Life 2 drops. So I enjoyed the first game. I played about halfway through it. I'm curious what they kind of do to level up and make it not feel samey. Talking guns is fun and funny. So interesting stuff going on there. But yeah, I'm excited for High on Life 2. After dodging an acquisition from Oracle, or I guess I think this was a Paramount buyout originally, but with Oracle money, WB has now found a purchaser. It was announced this week, I think as of like this morning, that Netflix will be purchasing Warner Brothers, including DC and HBO, but not the Discovery portion or the Discover portion, which was the always kind of the big question in the air of, you know, with the Paramount buyout, they wanted to buy it all so that they didn't have to break Discover and WB into two companies and figure out what they wanted to keep. So apparently, Netflix is just buying the Warner Brothers portion of it, cutting Daddy Zav out of it. So hopefully they're under that thumb, they're out from under that thumb, for a cool $83 billion. Um, and I did some math on how much HBO is worth based on its current subscriber count, and it kind of mathed out. So from my financial analyst, which is analysis, which is probably not worth much, but yeah, Netflix is knocking out a really big competitor with HBO Max. And they're getting a lot of content. I know that they've been kind of hurting for content as some of their mainstays have been pulled back onto the services of the companies that have a streaming service that didn't when Netflix first had their IPs. Yeah, they're getting a lot of really cool content. A lot of people are a little doom and gloom about it because if none of Warner Brothers content goes to theaters anymore and is now exclusively on Netflix, that'll probably put a huge chokehold on and potentially choke out the theatrical businesses. So that'll be sad if that happens. But I think this is better than if Paramount acquired it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of what they do this. They're also getting the gaming aspect of Warner Brothers, my alma mater. So Netflix is kind of wishy-washy games. Now they're highly invested in games. So it'll be interesting to see, with Hogwarts Legacy 2 coming around the corner. If that'll make a couple $1 billion, they might stick around in games, or it's curious if what they'll do with it after they acquired it. The deal doesn't look like it's going to be closed and inked until the middle of next year, so we've got time to wait. But by my calculations, this is Warner Brothers' fourth corporate overlord in 8 years. They were under Turner for 30 years, and then in 2018 they were under AT&T. Then Discovery came in and was somehow the lead in that whole situation. Even though I think they were the weaker company. And now they will be under Netflix. So lots of turmoil over at WB, and wishing all my friends at WB the best during this continuous time of change that is the company's last decade. Moving right along, talking about big deals, we got a little bit more details on the EA purchase by the Saudi government, as well as something that Jared Kushner's invested in, and there was another finance company as well. But the one thing that surprised me is rather than several groups banding together to buy 51% of the company so they have a controlling interest, it turns out that it's a full buyout, and the Saudi government's investment amounts to them owning 93 to 94% of the company. So this isn't, the Saudi government has a small vested interest in your company. This is the Saudi government owns EA, which is surprising to see. We were already contemplating what does it look like with the government owning a company, and for the most part, you wouldn't want to mess with your business too much. such as for like political reasons or anything like that. But yeah, it's hard to claim that they won't have interests and things that they want to change when they own 93% of the company. So again, EA will be privatized under this whole thing, but yeah, that's a large portion. I thought it would have been divided up more evenly or more investment, but yeah, it seems like the lion's share, in fact, almost all of it, is going to the Saudi government, which is some cause for concern. Moving right along, after two doom and gloom stories, Sony keeps pushing out new DualSense, like personalized, not personalized, but like new exclusive versions of their DualSense controllers. This one this week that caught my eye was Genshin Impact. So I'm not actually a fan of the game, not because I'm opposed to the game, but I've never played it. But it had a pretty cool design. I already have like a blue and white controller with like some, swirlies on it, which is what you get on this Genshin Impact controller for $64. But caught my eye. It's also interesting how many of these that like Sony's doing. As someone who owns three different like PlayStation exclusive PS5 or exclusive DualSense controllers, it seems like they're really starting to build up that arm, and they're just making them to demand. And able to kind of print them out, and I assume going through their D2C website. So interesting, they keep working on partnerships to make more DualSenses. So pretty cool stuff there. I assume Genshin Impact fans will be excited for a new PS5 controller. Moving on to probably one of the biggest news stories of the week. There was a Jeff Keighley posted like 3 random words, and apparently via a website you can use words to map track to like coordinates, and so those words corresponded to coordinates, and those coordinates in the Mojave Desert had a like very demonic looking statue, and that actually exists. It seems like a marketing push for something we don't know, but it like glows at night. So there's currently, until I assume the Game Awards or however long afterwards, till they come and get their demonic statue, advertising something. Obviously, speculation went wild. People thought it was for Half-Life 3. Some people thought it was for God of War 4 or God of War. Some people thought it was Diablo 4, and got a lot of people hyped around that theory because it looked very demonic. I would have at first glance thought it was like a Diablo 4 thing as well, considering Diablo 4 has already been talking about how they've got DLC coming out, probably sometime close to the Game Awards. Half-Life 3 has been teased a lot, and any reason to say that Half-Life 3 is coming out is all the internet needs to say it is. Cory Barlog already shot down the God of War theory. The Diablo 4 one kind of got shot down by Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, so we don't know what it is. My theory, if it's not Diablo 4, is that it's a game that we don't know about yet, but it'd be interesting to see. It also has somewhat like a Doom vibe too, again with like demons and stuff like that. But I'll have a link down below for you to check out the statue, and you can make your guess at what you think it is down below in the comments. But yeah, I'm thinking it's probably something we haven't heard about yet, or it could be, what's the new Housemarque game, Soros or something. It could give me that kind of vibes where it's like a planet with dead things on it or something like that. But speculation abounds until next week at the Game Awards, so curious what it is. There's a new co-op game coming to Xbox next year called Hella, which looked pretty cool, or Hela, I don't know how you actually say it, where you play as, it's a co-op game, so you can play with like up to 3 players, it looks like, and you are all mice traversing a forest. It looks very like Unraveled-esque, where you're co-op. I guess it is 3D, but it looks very like co-op, and you like, some people are the anchors so that you can swing across to get across a river or something like that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, as someone who has friends who are very interested in mice or rat related things. Yeah, it could be a fun game, and I'm always looking for a fun co-op game. So I'll have a link down below for you to check that out. Last but not least, a lot of Fallout 2 news coming out, as we're probably going to get some stuff at the Game Awards, as well as Season 2 starts its first episode in 10 days, on the 12 days on the 17th. So, very much excited for that. One of the things that caught my eye this week, though, is that even though they are going to New Vegas, the writers are kind of avoiding like canonizing and ending to Fallout New Vegas. They kind of said that it's been a while, and that all the factions are kind of still there, which seems interesting because if I can roll up my Fallout lore for a second, like the battle for Hoover Dam, if it happened in this world, like what like it seems like there had to have been winners and losers of that battle, so I'm still very curious, yeah, what that will look like. We've already seen like a diminished Caesar's Legion, with Macaulay Culkin's character, so maybe they lost. It sounds like they lost. The NCR shouldn't exist very much because apparently they've been nuked, as of season 1, or whatever happened with that vault and vault tech and whatever Hank did. So interesting. They've kind of, rather than stick a flag down and say this is the definitive way that Fallout New Vegas ended, it seems like they're going to avoid it and just like play around it, which seems interesting. I for one was looking forward to going to New Vegas to see the aftermath of the potential players' choices, and New Vegas, which again makes it for hard writing. But if you want to sell a single story, set in a world where an RPG with a bunch of where people make choices about what happens, yeah, it's hard to potentially satisfy everybody, but they're just kind of avoiding it. So that it doesn't diminish my excitement. I'm still very excited to live in the New Vegas world. The fact that season 3 has already been confirmed means where are we going? Has already started me to speculate on where we're going after New Vegas. But yeah, very interested to see what they do in season 2. So looking forward to that. But that's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye! Also, as an outro, if anybody will be at the Game Awards, I will be there too. So all my friends and industry friends who want to catch up there, let me know, and I'll be there. So see you there. Bye!